the Aussie Gridiron Network.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
A rolling Suzuki gathers no moss. That's what I heard.
This is fucking amazing. Oh, my God.
4.2, 4.21, 119 miles per hour.
Aussie?
Falconing it. That's
Yeah. Straight Falcon. It's either being hit in the head or being a giant pussy.
NFL.
Do you think he's going to be day one starter? Because I'm not sure of that yet. It's also on the Sam Darnold erection under the table here.
Fantasy.
May we have a moment's silence for the death of Miles Sanders.
Did we attend this last year? I feel like we've already been there.
Yeah, we pulled him out of his grave, slapped him in the face, and then buried him again.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
So funny, right? It was surprising and not surprising at the same time.
G'day Aussie Gridiron fans and welcome to the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show brought to you by the Aussie Gridiron Network. My name is Ian. I am filling in again for Matty C whilst he is sunning himself on a boat somewhere in the ocean. We don't know where. Will he ever return? We don't know when.
We don't care.
No. But we have a lineup of guys back again this week for week 14, fantasy advice and just general shenanigans, essentially. Straight up, our boy, the other half of this podcast, who's been keeping it alive for how many years now, Tay?
Too many
years. He's the number one draw card. He's the reason that we come to this place. And I purposely left that pause. It is, of course, Talor Goodall. How are you, mate?
Boy, the only way to introduce me is the number one fan of Grant Calcaterra. We're Calcaterraizing everyone, mate. It's just the best way to do things. Just my absolute boy and an idol, really, of all the young people out there, because he's going to absolutely dominate this week. We all know it. But, yeah, boys, great to be back. We're all back. Matty's still on a boat, spooning with Poseidon. And we just here and just doing the work that the people need.
Doing the hard work.
I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to see what an absolute disaster the start of the week's going to be this week because we're changing things slightly. And, look, it's going to be great. Let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the third person here, the third voice you're hearing is, of course, Isaac Coonerty, once again. Back again. Guess who's back? Isaac's back.
That's right, and Taylor also makes me come. And Matt, you are a coward.
Oh, absolutely, a big fat no.
We just remember that I've got drops I can use on my own computer here because we aren't recording with Matty software this week.
We've got a full voice. Welcome, Brad.
Welcome, Brad. I've got that many. I have got that many drops from Brad that we could probably do Brad AI at this point, and I could just insert him into the show.
That'd be a good time.
It would be.
Oh, you failed math.
So, one day I'll do it to him, but not today because I'm too friggin' lazy. All right, let's move on to the first segment of the week for Sundays, and it is, of course, the mailbag. We didn't just reach. We reached deep into the mailbag this week, and it was as empty as Santa's sack on the 1st of December.
So we knew it wasn't a Tyreek sack.
His sack is empty.
His has definitely got to be empty. It better be after 11. I'll tell you that.
Right. Never empty. Never.
Congratulations to Tyreek Hill for working in his 11th child. He has definitely surpassed Philip Rivers now.
Surely it's 11 different mums too.
I think it might be. Without even Googling it, I'm pretty sure.
I brought this up. Look, we're getting to the real analysis here. and I really feel like Philip Rivers is doing himself a disservice by, being monogamous. He really needs to get out there and play the field because, Tyreek's just out there rooting anything that moves, and that's why he's getting his kick numbers up, whereas Rivers is just, rooting his missus and getting her pregnant 11 times. It's not fair to him. He's missing out on kid opportunities. So, Philip, you're doing yourself a service, mate.
Well, Phil's just doing it because he couldn't pull out of a driveway properly. But Tyreek, I think I have a theory that Tyreek's trying to breed a super like football player. So he's just spread his.
Keep trying.
He just keeps trying to get the recipe right. Yeah, we just gotta. One of these 11 have to be able to carry him through the rest of his life, even after he's made $100 million. So.
Oh, this is good chat.
It's just how we roll. All right, let's get Jesus Christ. Let's get into the mailbag.
Where's the mailman?
Need some advice?
Would you rather have a small slice of a lovely cake,
Who has the mail?
or would you rather a huge piece of a dog shit cake?
Thanks to your questions at Pastry Press NFL.
And Aussie NFL Fantasy.
I guess this is kind of a shit cake, but it can be a decent cake too.
Oh, that wasn't an out.
No, it wasn't. I don't know why someone didn't throw out a question about Tyreek's dick and just what it does, but it wasn't. At Gus Bust though did throw out a bit of a question, and I'll just give you two names: Dowdle versus Najee.
Ooh, I think I like Dowdle this week. He gets a better matchup. I know Najee, I had a problem with him a little while ago. I put him as a bit of a sell high candidate because he basically gets tough matchups for a while. I know the Browns, I know they're technically beatable. Like, their defense isn't fantastic, but they seem a lot better at defending the run than they are the pass. And I just think with the way Jameis is just fucking airing it out on the other side, it kind of means that the other team's probably forced to do the same. So I kind of like the Steelers' pass catches and probably even Russ better this week than I probably like Najee specifically. I'm not saying you can't just like get a goal line touch and take a touchdown or something, but I really like Dowdle. I love that. Like, Adam picked him in starts the week last week, and straight away I thought it was an awesome pick. He's just getting everything now. Like, they've finally realised that Zeke is just an absolute turd, and they can't do anything with him. And so he basically only gets it when it's like a 3rd and 1 or something, and they fucking roll his ass out and then take him off. Whereas Dowdle's getting like all the rest of the work. So I actually like him. Obviously, they're playing the Bengals. That's going to be a shootout. There's going to be so many opportunities for touchdowns. I think he's good in the passing game too, which makes a massive difference. I think he's probably be better than Najee in the passing game at this point. So I'm going to take Dowdle because, one, I like his matchup better. I think he's just going to get more involved, obviously, in the passing game, and that's just going to be enough for me.
Yeah, I'd go Dowdle as well. Ever since they come out 2-3 weeks ago and said he's the number one running back, he's really gone to another level. So I don't see that slowing down this coming week.
Good. At Huge Penix. Mac Jones v Titans or Geno v Cardinals?
Ooh. That's an interesting one. I'm going to take Geno, even though I do think there's a chance that Titans-Jags game can turn into a bit of a shootout. I just can't trust Mac Jones right now. Like, I've watched him play a couple of games. I even had him in a Superflex league because I was desperate for my second quarterback, and I would have been better off fucking rolling out no one. Like, it was so bad. Like, it was against the Lions, and he scored like 1 point or something. Like, he was brutal. Don't get me wrong, this Titans defense is a lot, more beatable than the Lions is. But I got to see it happen. I know he finished the game well last week against the Texans, but I feel like that can be fool's gold sometimes. I feel like when you just get thrusted in there, the defense isn't ready, and obviously the Texans were leading, so they were kind of just like pulling their coverage a little bit. And I don't know. I'm not saying Mac Jones didn't play well. I just need to see it for a full game. So I would trust Geno more, even though the Cardinals have been very surprising defensively. I'm taking the known commodity in Geno and not, trusting Mac Jones yet.
Yeah, I'm also taking Geno. Tennessee have the number one ranked defense against the pass, so doesn't bode well for a backup quarterback stepping in there. So I'll take Geno.
Righto, Geno it is. At Matty C's burner.
Who's this?
I don't know. It's mysterious to me.
Straight from the boat.
I want to go see what kind of shit he's posting on X, to be honest.
Straight from straddling a seal.
He's under the sea. Maybe he's down there with SpongeBob. Are you ready, kids? Matty.
I can't hear you.
Oh! DJ Moore versus Tyreek Hill.
It's you go first this time, Isaac.
Oh, both of them have been very disappointing this year.
Tyreek
But,
has been horrendous lately.
Yeah, like you spend a first round pick on him and he's just been hopeless. But I've got DJ Moore in a few leagues and I'm starting to get back on him. He's starting to come good in fantasy, in terms of fantasy. So, I mean, he's splitting a share with Keenan Allen. They're both getting targets, but at this present stage, I'd take DJ Moore.
I brought up Keenan Allen last week. I put him in starts of the week, and a huge reason was because I feel like since Waldron's been given the arse and they've sort of changed the OC, it's definitely helped. I know their offensive line still sucks. I know Caleb still gets pressured, but they seem to be able to get it to their wide receivers a lot, and it seems to be a kind of a clear split there where Adunze looks like he's definitely the third, and it's kind of gone back to what we thought at the start of the season, where it's like DJ Moore's probably going to be the one, Keenan Allen's going to be the safety blanket for Caleb. It's like everything I thought in the preseason's all of a sudden happening with this OC change. So I think there is actually, I kind of feel like DJ Moore probably has the highest ceiling, because I don't know if against the Jets don't put on a lot of offensive pressure themselves, so I don't know what Tyreek's going to need to do. I think I'm going to actually lean with Isaac here, actually. I know it seems crazy, but I think I actually do like DJ Moore, and the Niners, I think, are going to sort of get exploited a bit. They've just lost so many pieces. Like, they seem to be getting beaten everywhere, but they seem to easily be beaten in the air. I think Caleb's not going to get pressured as much as you think. I haven't seen, as both are playing, I'm not entirely sure, but he's been out and they've just got way less pressure on the quarterback, which obviously everyone gets against Caleb anyway because of the shit offensive line, but if they don't get it as much as normal, I feel like you're going to be able to pass, and DJ Moore just is the one on this team, and he's already proven that he can break out, and Tyreek against the Jets, even though the Jets are starting to ease up because they're so bad, they are still, I think they're still down as number one against the wide receiver position in fantasy. I know it used to be by more, and they're sort of starting to get beaten, but it seems to be easier to beat them on the ground than the air, so I just think Tyreek, if there isn't a lot of pressure from the Jets offensively, they're not going to need to score a heap of points for the Dolphins, and it could just go to wide receiver one, Johnny Smith again. So I'm gonna lean DJ Moore, but fuck, it's close.
Righto. Last one for the mailbag for this week. At Causing Calca Terror. I don't know who that could have possibly been from. Who's this mysterious person from? Is this one of the terrorizers out there?
This is one of my flock. This is one of my flockies.
It's one of your flock.
One of your flogs.
It's an interesting question, actually. And it's one of your flocks.
The fine line.
It's an interesting question. It's kind of a more generic question around this time of year that happens, or something that a lot of people start asking. If you're locked in for the playoffs, do you start trying to look ahead at week 15 or try to win this week, Isaac?
Well, it all depends where you're locked in for the playoffs. Unfortunately, in my fantasy career, I haven't been in the playoffs much, so I wouldn't know.
Come on, mate.
Well, it's violin.
I'd be looking forward to week 15, actually. Just sit some guys that you don't really need in there and just take the L if you need to.
From me, it's like Isaac sort of already brought up, it's if you've got a chance to get in that top two, I'm going for it. I'm looking at week 14 and playing the best guys in that, because I just think that bye obviously it's very specific to how your players are set up, but generally it's, say, a top six, the top two get the bye in the first week. I think that matters so much. Like, anything can happen in that first round. Even if you're sitting in third and you think you can beat the shit out of six, there's a chance you won't. It's like, why would you even take that chance? So if you're in third or fourth and you can get into that top two, I'm going for it. If you're pretty much locked into the 3 to 6, I wouldn't care about this week, honestly. I know you kind of want to finish the regular season strong, but generally from 3 to 6, there isn't really one team that's way stronger than any other. So I'm just fine, just sort of looking around and going, okay, this guy has a way better week 15 matchup than 14. I'll hold him. I don't need to worry about his shit matchup this week because I'm all caring about 15. Do some waiver claims for guys that you have good matchups in 15 instead of 14. I'm looking forward if I'm locked into 3 to 6, but if I have any chance of getting that top 2 seed, I'm going for it this week.
So in our redraft league, Tay, you going for it?
100%.
Okay.
Because I think Rogan could lose. And if Rogan loses, I'm in. And obviously I have to win too. I'm a little bit worried about my matchup more than him winning or losing because I've got a couple of guys out. Liam's sort of coming home with a wet sail, even though he's not going so great, but he's got a pretty good team. He's got Saquon this week who could score fucking 60 in that league with the added bonuses of 40 plus touchdowns against the Panthers. So I'm a bit worried about my matchup, but I'm going for it because I think all it really takes is one loss from Rogan, and I win, and I'm into that top 2. So
yep.
Awesome advice. Thank you to everybody for chucking out those amazing fantasy questions. As all,
especially Talor, whatever.
Yeah, that Calcaterra. No, that Matty C's.
I definitely didn't come up with that.
Yeah. I'm kind of impartial to huge panics as well.
Well, it's what my wife wishes I had.
And here we are again.
Off the rails. We can't even see the rails.
Why would you want a huge appendix?
Where would you rather be?
Nowhere else right now. Thanks, boys.
All
right. It's time for the segment that we know everybody listens to the show just for this segment, for this opportunity every week. So it's time for Starts of the Week.
In the beginning there was nothing, a featureless void. From the formless primordial state, a legend was born when forces combined to create a solid object of significant value. As planets were formed and Earth itself was shaped, the object lay awaiting its destiny. Seas rise and fall, mountains emerge, and upon the highest mountain, an intrepid adventurer happens upon the object. A worthy prize for ascending this to the tallest of peaks. This object has been documented to be held by many of the great dynasties of mankind, from the Persians to the Hans, the Mongols and the Ottomans, lives lost defending it from those who seek to possess it. Now it is in the trust of 3 wise men, who also reach such pinnacles, to be held by he who imparts the most astute knowledge upon fellow mankind. The winner of the annual Aussie NFL Fantasy Show Starts of the Week.
Starts of the week, that's right. Sorry, we're just going off in the background during that drop. We've totally and utterly lost it.
We don't have our teacher here in Matty's
yeah.
So it's like having a substitute teacher. We're just
problem is the substitute's part of the hilarity right now. It's insanity. So
yeah, they're in on it. It's nothing worse than when the substitute is actually in on it.
Yeah, I'm not actually the substitute. I'm that sort of that tech wood shop teacher that just goes, or the PE teacher you just end up with that just comes up and goes, yeah, we're just watching a movie. I don't really give 2 shits. So,
they're probably hungover.
Yeah. So we've just gone, I don't know, there's no rails, there's no rhyme, there's no reason this week.
The rails are way in our distance. We cannot see them.
Yeah, we're off. All right, starts of the week. We better do a super quick recap of last week because it would be remiss of me to not do one. Scores-wise, World ended up with 50.5 points, coming in a distant third. Talor, 61.46, gets beat out, unfortunately, by, well, we'll say Matty C's team, but I picked it. 76.32 on the week. There were some sensational scores from the week for a few blokes, so we won't run through everything, but I will highlight a couple. World ads picked Rico Dowdle. What a pick. Right. 21.3 points in full PPR. Wow, what a pick. I got Matty a couple of good picks, it turned out, just by choosing random blokes from his list of 4 for each position that he gave me. Jaylen Warren, what a pick, 10.4 points. But then, Noah Gray, he even told me in a text message that how did this bloke end up on my team? Well, he got 9.8 points for you, mate, versus Will Disley, who you actually picked, which would have been a big fat 0.
Small Montana.
But of course, the standout was Jerry Jeudy, who just went off with Jameis, the Church of Jameis, on Monday Night Football, 235 yards, a TD, a 2-point conversion. He ended up with 40.5 points on the week. Tay,
I'm going to say that is the highest score anyone's ever had in the second.
There's
no way it is.
Jerry Jeudy got more than you guys have got collectively in a week.
Easy. Well, that is absurd. That is a big.
It is.
Like, because honestly, if someone has a game like that, it's normally someone everyone's starting. But like to have someone that's under 50% started to have a game like that, it was just absurd. It just destroyed the intent. It destroyed the segment.
It's just destroyed the segment. Tay, you know what? You didn't do too badly. Anthony Richardson netted you 23.16.
Yeah, I took the risk. I was very happy with that outcome, to be honest. Yeah. Like I said, I just really trusted him against that Pats defense, and I'm actually glad I went for it.
And then Keenan Allen, 24.3 points. He ended up
started me off real well on Thanksgiving. Honestly, between those two guys, I was thinking I was a pretty good chance to win. And honestly, I was sitting there about 25 points ahead of Matty C going into that Broncos game, and he got the 25 quite easily, just sailed straight past it.
We talked about it earlier, though. I think the gap isn't that big there. There's 15 points. It does seem like it is a lot when you're talking blokes under 50% started. But the thing that I think really, really let your team down last week, even though you did get 61 points, was Taysom Hill. Just good old Taysom Hill going out early. Old gadget player. Oh, no, the Gus bus let it down, but, that's running back. I don't know. Taysom Hill going out early when essentially you were playing a Superflex league. Yeah, that was a bad thing.
Yeah, it was my first round pick as well. It's just what it is. Obviously, feel bad for Taysom being a 34-year-old. It's going to be hard to come back from that injury. But, in that position, I would have liked a little bit more. But, again, would I have got 15 more points, which was the difference? Probably not. So, it is what it is. Move to this week where we absolutely fuck shit up.
Absolutely fuck shit up. And by that, what we mean is we are going to mess with starts of the week this week. Why the hell not?
Substitute teacher, baby.
Substitute teacher is just making up the curriculum here. Who gives a shit? We're putting on Never-Ending Story to a bunch of 10-year-olds and just watching them cry.
We've been kicked in the dick and the spleen. It's week 14.
Absolutely. So how are we fucking up? We're adding a flex.
Yeah, why not? It's already the hardest week of the year with the amount of buys, but we're just going to make it even harder.
Yep, absolutely. Hardest week of the year. Broncos, Colts, Patriots, Commanders, Ravens, Texans. That's 6 teams on bye. So it was already difficult to pick 4 blokes in terms of QB, wide receiver, running back, and a tight end. It was hard to make a list because just so many guys are close to the line. You can't trust somebody that is somewhere in the 30s, like a high 30% starter right now, because they're probably going to go over 50. It's just going to be insane. So, you know what? Why not make it harder? Why not make it more fun? And let's pick a flex. But we can't give an advantage to someone, can we, Tay? So, the order-wise, in terms of the snake draft, we're going to do a reverse 5th round. So, the last round will be reversed. Because that way no one gets a clear advantage over anyone else when we do pick these orders.
That's it, mate. Like I said, just goes the normal snake for the first 4 like we normally do.
Yep.
But then obviously who picked last in the 4th stays last, obviously, in the 5th. So, obviously whoever's at the end of the arsehole end gets to essentially pick first in the 4th and the 5th.
Yeah. So they get that a little bit of an advantage. Righto. I get to pick the order. Because I picked Matty's team last week and Matty won. So what we're actually doing, obviously, I'm filling in for Matty again. So I'm Matty's team. I get to pick a full team this week. This is actually my team that I am picking. So if we get 76 points again, we all know I'm an absolute legend. And what it'll mean is when it gets to my turn to actually pick for world team, I'll get 20. That's just the way the world works.
Classic.
It's just what it is, really. Isaac is representing world, so Isaac's going to pick for the world team, and Tay, as always, represents Tay. So, and nobody else.
The Calcaterras were renamed after.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot that part. I've got to pick an order, and the addition of the flex has got me perplexed.
Rattled. Spencer Rattled.
Yes.
It's Rattled.
It's got me Darren Rizzler. I don't know where to go, mate. I don't know if I go first. I don't know if I go first, which means I end up last twice. It's Matty's team. I don't like screwing people over, but I don't like making this job harder for myself. which is the problem.
This is brilliant.
So
exactly what I wanted.
You know what? I'm going to go me first.
Ooh.
Isaac second, because it seems.
Oh, the Calcaterras on the arsehole.
Because it seems like I feel like the world needs a bit of a lift up here, and I'm shooting for the world. And I think those twos, you're right in the middle. You're in a good spot.
Middle
every round, as always, because that's how 1, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 1 works. But it feels like that might be the spot to pick the best ones. So there you go there.
Right, so you put yourself straight onto the clock.
I have put myself onto the clock. I will break out my notes and I will figure out what is the worst position to try and pick from straight up. And I feel like we all know that it is running back. Surprising. The problem I have with running back is there are guys, and we're recording this a little bit earlier in the week. Obviously, the percentages will go over 50% Sunday night. Maybe. You just don't know.
I would say for those guys, given how shit the week is and stuff, if they're under 50 now, then I think they're fine. I mean, again, with this segment, it's always up to, if they're sort of close-ish, we can talk about it and whether we think they fit anyway. So
yeah.
I would say, I would put out anyone that's under 50 right now, and it's always worth a chat.
Yeah, so we might throw out a few guys here, each of us this week, which we're going to actually have to have a chat about and see whether we ditch them or not.
Just to complicate it a bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit more,
yeah. I feel like there's a little bit more leeway to me in a round like this too, like given the buys and stuff. Like I honestly, if they're even slightly iffy, I'm going to be fine with it, honestly. But it's your pick.
Well, I'm just checking some numbers to make sure. And the first guy that I was going to pick was 47% starter when I was doing the exercise this afternoon, and I'm talking like 6 o'clock tonight, and we're at 11 p.m. right now. And he's already over 50. He's at 54, so he's already gone over.
Was that Rico Dowell?
No.
Okay. Because I saw him at 54.
The second guy was at 43. He's now at 49. So this is going to get like sketchy real fast. I feel like I've got the same guys in basically the same matchups through every position. It's just so weird, like the same teams.
Well, like me and Matty have often said, like we don't care if someone ends up like 55% or something by the thing. It's more the guys that were like are so obvious they end up like 75 or something.
Yeah.
But it's not like when
Tony
we
Pollard
tried to do a podcast earlier in the week. Like if they're honestly under 50 right now, I would it would take a lot for me to say no.
Oh, right. You know what? I'm going to go with a guy that was actually in a team last week and performed pretty damn well.
I know who it is.
Yeah, I know you will know who it is. And it's going to be all offense this game as well on both sides of the ball. I'm going to
last name like a dick.
Hey,
is his last name what a dick does sometimes?
No.
Oh, damn.
No, I'm going the opposite side. I'm going Jalen Warren.
Ah, okay. He was second on my list. Wait, what's his start percentage?
34 right now.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about the guy that was right on 50. Yeah,
no, yeah, so he's at 34 right now. And Jalen Warren was at 25, like 3 hours ago. So some of this stuff is actually moving up pretty quickly. Jalen Warren was in starts last week, performed amazingly. You're against the Browns. This is just going to be like a score fest. Russ v. Jameis, just the Steelers v. Browns is just going to be off the chain in terms of offensive performance. I just can't understand it. Yeah, so we're just going to go. I'm just going to go Jalen Warren, I think, and just leave it at that.
He was on my list as well.
I think if he wasn't on all of our lists, I'd be worried.
It's a great week.
It is. Isaac.
All right, so I'm going to go to the one that I found the hardest to choose from.
Running back.
I know first round is not one that you take a tight end, but I am going to go a tight end. And
Taysom Hill's not available this week, mate.
Luke Schoonmaker.
Oh, Luke Schoonmaker.
Yeah, 18% started.
You did go there. Oh, well.
That's an excellent. What was that, Tay? Oh, well.
Well, to be honest, I had no idea who was saying Schoonmaker. I thought it might have been Ian, so it was more of a, okay, that was you actually said that.
Yes, he actually did say that. Luke Schoonmaker is currently 8% started
8%.
in leagues.
Well, I'll just say, because I had Ferguson written on my list, and there's a chance he's back. That's the only thing I worried about with Schoonmaker. But honestly, if there is a chance that Ferguson's back, he doesn't get a full lot on the snaps straight away either. Like, it is a good matchup. Like, honestly, that's going to be a fucking score fest, like you brought up with the Browns and the Steelers. Like, there's going to be a lot of points in that Cowboys-Bengals game. So whoever is playing those tight end snaps could be very worth it.
100%. All right, Luke Schoonmaker goes to Isaac, tight end.
Yeah,
off the board.
straight over to him.
Second overall, a tight end. That's nuts. Tay, we're round to you for the end of the first.
All right. I've got someone, like you obviously talked about. This guy's at 47%. I'll be honest, I was actually surprised he was, but given his quarterback situation and stuff, I guess it kind of makes sense. He had sort of some down games. I've got Brian Thomas written down up against the Titans.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice.
Good pickup.
Yeah, like again, I guess there is just issues with people with Mac Jones, not worrying. But what made me feel good was he did have that connection with the touchdown. Like it wasn't all like he was with Lawrence and getting all the targets, and all of a sudden when Mac Jones was in, he wasn't. He actually was getting looked at. So I just think there is a chance. Even though I don't exactly trust Mac Jones, I do think I trust him enough to get his best receiver the ball. So I'm hoping it's a bit more Thomas, a little bit less Parker Washington. So I'm going to go with Brian Thomas. Obviously, you guys are okay with that one.
Yeah. He's currently still at 47%. So
I'm just having a look now. Now's the question: do I take my flex? Do I take it double up on a certain position? Do I go elsewhere? It's interesting.
It's a long way back.
It is a long way back. I have to wait a long fucking time.
So if you really like another wide receiver, obviously, you were thinking flex there, then that's where you would go, unless you were going to try and do something like double down on tight end.
I'm going to try and see if someone... I think this guy should be ruled out. I might as well just say him. I was looking at Juan Jennings, but he's right on 50.
Okay. Yeah, I looked at him earlier, and he was right on that too, so I didn't even sort of go anyway.
Yeah, I just had him there because I was like, is there a chance because of his shit game last week he might slightly drop? I just put him there. I'd rather just ask the question. But I guess like if he's at 50, then it kind of goes against what the whole segment is anyway. So
he's right at been right at 50, and I feel like the way that the 49ers are at the moment, he will go over because there's not really anybody else other than Debo.
I feel like I don't know if I can do this. This would be absolutely fucking gross. I'm not going to go that same position for the flex because there's another guy I don't mind, but like one I don't even know if he'd even be on your list. So it's like I might as well leave it. It's just about which position I really have. That's such a bad position. I don't know if I can wait so long. I've really fucked myself with this whole flex thing because I'm thinking about 80 different things in a row. All right, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go with Nick Chubb against the Steelers.
Yep, nice. He was one of those guys though that I did check percentages.
49.
Yeah, that's what worried me. So he was 43
I'm happy
earlier.
to talk about that. Like, if you want to rule that out, it's
He was
fine.
43 earlier, and he's up to 49. But as you say, there's a lot of slim pickings at running back, and I feel like that everybody is pretty much done.
But again, I'm happy if you guys think he's a little bit too for not this segment. I'm fine if you guys vote on that.
I think I'm okay with it. I think I'm okay with it because I think we're probably in the same boat when we get to some other positions as well.
Who was it? Sorry, it dropped out.
Nick Chubb.
Oh, I looked at Nick Chubb earlier.
So he's currently at 49. But obviously with the way running back is, everyone should already be picked up. If they've all moved this far, if they've moved this far in the last few hours, I think it should be okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Righto, Nick Chubb.
All right. Now I've got the longest fucking wait in history to see all how.
Nick Chubb to Tay for running back, and we move to Isaac. So I've already got my running back. Tay's got his. You've got a tight end. We've got flex positions open. You've got everything else.
The whole shebang.
Whole shebang.
I do have the whole shebang. Look,
she bangs. Oh, baby.
Let me go for someone who had a really shit week last week.
That's my play.
But it is a revenge game.
Oh,
Give me Captain Kirk
game.
Cousins.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, not even on my list.
Yeah.
Love it.
Was on my list briefly, then I thought better of it because I know better.
Huge revenge game.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I guess this is a revenge game.
Yeah,
I'll put up for a revenge game for this one. Just like
Jim against Suarez worries me though.
Yeah, after last week, are you sure about that? Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, 28th against the pass, Minnesota. So it's there for him to sling.
That is true though. You're not going to run on him, so you fucking have to pass.
You do. That's exactly right. All right, Kirk Cousins it is for Isaac at QB. Righto. I feel like I want to... I got two here, so it won't really matter too much of the way I go.
That's the best part is like if there's a really shallow position with the flex, you could just go, all right, even though I don't love a couple of guys, I really want to fuck someone over. And take like the two guys I at least have some kind of conviction in that position and then just leave them with scraps. That's the funniest part about it.
Yeah. It is. You don't have a QB yet, and I feel like I want to go that way. But there are a few there. Jesus, that's jumped. I do have a couple of wide receivers that I had my eye on too, but I reckon, by the way everything's jumped in the last couple of hours, that he has probably jumped over. He hasn't. My God, what kind of world are we living in?
Love this chat.
It's so good. I just don't. I really want to go to tight end because there seems to be a lot less pickings.
Slim pickings.
But I have a few just sort of randoms on there who I think could do really well. So
sorry, mate, Calcaterra, not
I want to I'm sort of holding back on that a little bit. I'm thinking QB just so I can try and secure one. Just because of where some guys are. But it has moved a bit, but I don't think this guy will go over any further because of the matchup. So I think I'll go for the first one. I think I'm going to go Sam Darnold against the Falcons.
Yeah. So that's who I almost picked for Talor Talk. I was like, I could screw Ian here with taking him for Talor Talk, but I'll screw Kevin.
Well, to be honest, Taylor, there's three others that I really liked in the same boat. Yeah. So you wouldn't have really screwed me that much. You just would have sort of shored up the decision making a bit more.
Would have made it easier.
Yeah. I think I'll go Darnold. He's at 46 right now. He was at 36 earlier, so I don't think he's going to move much further than that. No. Just because of that matchup with the Falcons. but I think I'm going to be pretty solid there for some points.
Yep,
So I've got a QB, I've got a running back. You can pick the others, you can pick a flex. It's going to be the longest wait ever to come back around. So, as I said earlier, there's some. I feel like the guys that I all wrote down seem to be in the same 2 or 3 games, either side of the ball, either side.
That can work good though. Like you get the high scoring game and it just fucking loads up.
It does. And you know what? I'm just going to trust my gut and go with it because he is still at 46% started, and it just amazes me considering the last 2 weeks, not just last week, but the last 2 weeks. Jerry Jeudy.
Is it? So I looked at Jeudy this morning and I swear he was 54.
Yeah, so I'm just looking now, and he's 46% started. You can have a look. Go check for me. Absolutely, please.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Holy fuck!
Fucking
I swear he was.
I wonder whether people that have that thought process is like, oh, it's not going to happen again, or they're against Pittsburgh, the defense is a lot better. But if you look at the numbers, Pittsburgh versus, who was it last week? Bengals. It was all offense. It was nuts. Nobody could.
It's so weird, right? Like, based on what I've said, I would agree. I just didn't even fathom that he would fit this because off 36 points, I just think he's going to skyrocket in people's lineups. But again, based on what I've said, if he's under 50 now, I guess we have to accept it. But I just didn't even think of him for this. I thought he was over already, and 2, I just think he's the kind of guy that could end up 70. That's my only worry.
Yep. What are we doing? Are you right with that or not?
Yeah, go for it.
Righto. It's a gamble. It is a gamble.
Why does this have to be for Matty's team? I have to ask the question.
A bit of deja vu.
Do you want me to go back? You want me to walk it backwards?
Mate, if you want to fuck his team over, it'd be great.
I don't want to openly do that. I'm not that guy. We just talked about that earlier in terms of dynasty teams. Why tank? I don't need to do that.
All right, you took QB and Jeudy. Okay.
Yeah. So I've got a QB, a wide receiver, and a running back. We're back around to Isaac, who's got his QB, his tight ends. Tay, you've only taken wide receiver, running back so far. So, Isaac.
Yes, I'm going to head to running back.
Head to running back.
I'm going to take Travis Etienne against the Titans.
That's who was third on my list, and I literally said, I don't want to do something gross here because it would have been taking 2 jacks. It would have taken Etienne and Brian Thomas against the Titans.
The wide end wide receiver running back stack.
Yeah. It's been the running back tight end stack that's worked in this segment this year. What a stack.
38% started in leagues right now. So that's pretty good.
Yep.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
I'm still pissed off Judy's fucking part of this. I'm telling you right now, if I had thought about that, I would have fucking taken it with Brian Thomas.
Why did you look, Tate? That's why I'm actively looking.
Where I did, I don't know what I saw, but I could have sworn I saw he'd gone to 50 on.
Did you go into a dynasty?
Yeah,
in dynasty it might be different.
What I was doing, but I must have. It's just crazy. Anyway.
Crazily, he's owned 77%. So he's 77% owned, and people are still only 46%. So that's what blew my mind.
He's been perennially part of this, but I was just off of 36, I just cannot imagine if he's already at 46 that he wouldn't be going over.
It's all fun times with the Browns right now. It's just going to be absolute sling the ball fest. So.
Well, I'll be honest, I had someone else in that team on my list. I didn't even think of Jeudy. I just went for someone else.
I have about 4 other guys in that team on my fucking list. Yes.
All right, so I can wait till the 5th round to pick a quarterback now, which is good.
Yes,
so
yes,
I know that I'm going in
because we're not doing a super flex.
Yes, exactly.
That's next week if Matty's out again.
Well, this guy sucked ass, but he actually came up in a different segment earlier in the week. I'll look at Kate Otten. He's at 49%.
Is he still?
Yeah, he was.
I'm happy to allow it if he's still sitting at 49 because he was earlier. He's still sitting at 49.
Yeah. Yep. If he's at 49 now, take him.
All right. It's still got its risks just because he hasn't looked fucking great, obviously, with Evans back. And there is still technically a chance this is another Bucky Irving game and they run on the Raiders, even though the Raiders looked better against the run last week. But this is just the hope again. The Raiders are 30th against tight end. I just feel like there's an opportunity for him to get more involved. But, there is also a chance he doesn't. I guess that's the tight end position for you. Okay, now this is where I'm going to really think. I really probably should just take my wide receiver I'm looking at because I feel like the best.
So obviously it's 3-2-1, and then you get the next pick after that anyway. We go 3-2-1, then 3-2-1 again for these.
Yeah.
These
So no, I don't get like three in a row. I get my two normal picks. You guys go, then I go.
So you don't have a hugely long wait again, but
no. But it doesn't matter because my last pick's a quarterback anyway, which you guys can't take. So, look, I do have a couple of guys here. One's riskier because technically hasn't been cleared. But he's kind of like my insurance of hoping that maybe Judy doesn't go off because this guy's back.
Yep.
I guess in a 5-person team, taking a risk is a little bit better than when it's 4. So if I somehow jagged a 0, it means a little bit less when there's more players. So I am considering taking that risk because he was coming back from a concussion, not an injury. I know it's still an injury, but, I feel like there's always a better chance they're coming back after a week instead of worrying about an injury. So I'm going to take Cedric Tillman up against the Steelers because, he was basically getting the exact amount of targets as fucking Judy was when he was there. He obviously had the concussion against the Steelers early and he was gone, but I kind of feel like that's getting forgotten. So I am wondering what the share looks like between Tillman and Judy when he's back. So I'm taking the shot that maybe some of it goes to him.
Fair enough.
Righto.
7% started.
Yeah, I don't even need to check it. I know he's not going to be starting that much.
And because everyone's kind of forgot about what he was doing, I feel like even when he gets put in, he's ruled back in, I feel like he won't go up that much. So he's going to be a deeper shot. And he's the one I said that I'm like, well, I don't think either of you guys would even have him on your list. So I was like, I'll leave him for the end. So yeah, I'm actually confident if he's starting.
All right, Isaac, you got your wide receiver and your flex position to go.
Yep.
So which one are you going first?
I'm going to go wide receiver, and I'm going to go with Quinton Johnson.
Ooh,
against the Chiefs secondary, who are sitting 23rd against the pass. I reckon with Ladd McConkey's emergence, it might be time for a Quinton Johnson game.
Ladd McConkey might be out.
That makes it even better.
There is.
Yeah, that's why I actually kind of thought you might have been going him, and that's why I was considering him. I even looked at Josh Palmer. I was like, McConkey's got a knee injury, so there's a chance that it's only QJ and Palmer. So, yeah, I like it.
Oh, it's a good pick, actually. Because Ladd McConkey might actually be out. I had looked at that. I was giggling a little bit before because just Ladd McConkey's like 87% started in leagues these days, and I don't think anybody would have thought that at the start of the season that would have been the case. All right, back to me. My second last one. I got a tight end and a flex position, and I feel like Meek and Love. I can leave the tight end, so it's going to be my flex. So, is it going to be a wide receiver or a running back? Which dumb way do I want to go? I've got some weird guys out there on wide receiver right now. I might go. I'll just check his numbers just to make sure, but he was nowhere near it earlier. If I can get him to come up. He's been an absolute touchdown machine and big play machine since he hit the Steelers, and I'm going to go MVS against the Giants.
Yeah, nice.
Who is currently 20% started.
You say since he hit the Steelers?
Still, since he hit the Saints.
Saints?
It was started with an S. Started with an S. It's good enough. No, because I've got Steelers written down that many times on my list here, mate. It's just it's in my brain.
He's very Nick Westbrook Akine in a way. Like, no one trusts him because it's just like huge plays and stuff, but he just keeps doing it. So
No one,
it's hard not to trust
I feel like
him.
no one trusts him because of what's happened in the past with MVS.
Yeah, the drops for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
That's what
but like since he's hit the Saints, he's gotten down to New Orleans. Like it's just big play after big play.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I'm just going to go MVS. Hopefully, we get a few big plays against the Giants. They just start airing out a ball and go from there.
Yep.
So MVS, righto. So we reversed the round. We're back down to Tay. Who's your QB, Tay?
It's going to be Tua Tagovailoa.
I looked at Tua. He was one of those other couple of guys on that list, Tay.
Yeah, he's the one I sort of just put at the top. I had a lot of names written down. But yeah, he's at 45. Tua's just always been this one that he's been perennially around that 40 to 50. Like he gets started, but he just never gets like ridiculously started. And the Jets are an amazing matchup on paper, 15th against quarterback. But I kind of feel like they're giving up. Like I feel like they're this team that I feel like at home he's going to be able to get the job done against them. And yeah, even though they're not a great matchup against receivers, the quarterback position seems to get it done against them. So, yeah, I think this is a get-right sort of moment for Tua.
I would love to know. Who else did you have on your list?
Jared Goff against the Packers,
Yeah.
but I've got this weird feeling the Packers are going to actually do a decent job on him, so I just had him there. I had Geno against the Cardinals. I had Levis against the Jags, purely because the Jags are last against quarterback. I obviously had Darnold, and the last one I chucked in was actually Cooper Rush, which would have been a big balls play, but against the Bengals, fuck me, anyone could dominate that Bengals team.
See, that makes mine seem weirder. So the other ones I had of mine were Russ, Jameis, and Caleb Williams.
Yeah. No, I liked them all, honestly. Like, they're ones you could have chucked in too. Russ was one I thought about literally before we recorded. I was like, I don't know why I didn't put him on, because that's actually a really good matchup, but like I said, I was pretty keen on Tua, so it didn't really matter.
Jameis is only 5% started. 10% now. He's jumped 5%. Look out.
Yeah, I had Jameis on my list as well, along with Wilson, and I had Brock Purdy on there as well.
Yeah, so.
And what's funny is that wasn't actually a good matchup for Jameis against the Broncos. Like, I think everyone thinks that, but it wasn't.
No.
And that's what makes it hard to look at the Steelers game and go, oh, it's a bad matchup for a quarterback. But it's like, is anything a bad matchup for Jameis at the moment? Like, anyone that can score points on the other side against Cleveland is fine.
What showed me that it was that was really good was the way that they utilised Judy and they moved him around. Yeah, so he wasn't just on Pat Surtain the whole time, or Pat Surtain wasn't on him the whole time.
And that huge play wasn't on Surtain.
Yeah,
like
they went.
He kind of did all this like dink and dunk stuff on Surtain, where he kind of almost got away with push-offs. He kind of went at him and came back. It was those huge plays when he got away from him.
Yeah, he absolutely smoked the rookies. That's basically what happened. Isaac, your flex position is the last one. What do you got, mate?
Yeah, I'm just looking around because the looking around I did today was in a dynasty, so all those starts are fucking up there. Look, let's just chuck it out there. Let me go with Adam Thielen.
Yeah, second on my list. I kind of had a feeling Ian was going to take
it. Yeah, he was there. He was there. Adam Thielen against the Eagles. I did think of it. I really did. But then the Jerry Jeudy thing came up.
Yeah, true.
You got to take it.
The Eagles was my only worry.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
they're a good defense.
I'm going against the Eagles. So I was like, but he's got to throw to someone, and he is showing a bit of a resurgence. Like, I know he doesn't have other guys. He's got Xavier Leggett, even that Coke is sort of breaking out a little bit. I do like it because I just think he's such a big part. And Bryce Young, even when Bryce Young was shit, like he actually really hyper-targeted Thielen like last year. So I just think he's his favourite target. So I think he could PPR his way to a decent score, even if it's not like, he doesn't have a chance at a touchdown or anything, which he is obviously all the time. But I just think this Eagles team aren't going to give him a lot. But you garbage time his way there.
Yeah. All right. Tight end. My tight end. is the last one.
Favourite position?
Favourite position. There's a bunch of guys I could have gone here. I did briefly think about picking Juwan Johnson just for the hell of it. There was Pat Fryermuth I was going to pick.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Kyle Pitts is on the list. Even your boy Cole Komet. He was on the list, third down after Kate Otten. But the guy second on my list, is actually Tucker Kraft.
He's second on my list too. The only thing I hated was the Lions at first against tight end. I hated that number just staring at me.
They're first against tight end, but they seem to allow like chunk yardage. Like the guys, the tight ends are still getting like 60 yards against them, but I think it's just because every other team in the league seems to allow stupid numbers against the tight end on a regular basis. But the whenever it's the matchups where there was a good tight end against the Lions, they allow big yardage. But the sort of mid-range tight ends, they get nothing. And I feel like that's just indicative of if you're a good tight end, you're going to get more yards anyway in the game. But
yeah, and it's weird because they're horrendous against wide receivers. So then first against tight end,
it's backwards. But also the Lions are getting very banged up on defense at the moment. They had several guys go down in just this last week. And I feel like coming up against the Packers is not a good thing for them either. So,
one I'm looking at now at the wide receiver position. If he wasn't questionable, I'd take him in a heartbeat. He might be gone anyway, but Devonta Smith against Carolina, he's 34% started.
Oh yeah.
That's one I probably would have gone against because I'm like, if he starts, he's over 50.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's a locked and loaded. Like because when that situation, the 34 is purely because he's questionable.
Yeah.
It's like not he's iffy when he goes. It's like everyone's basically starting him when he's in.
Especially against Carolina.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably would have said something about that one anyway. But again, like we were being a bit more lenient tonight. Like I said, it was like if anyone's sort of for any other reason was under 50, we're basically taking them in this. We're picking 5 players in a week that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, we've picked the best week to go full berserker mode, essentially. So amazing. So let's recap those real quick. I've got Matty's team. I've picked a team for Matty. Sam Darnold at QB, Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Warren, Tucker Kraft, and MVS as my flex. Isaac's picking for the world team. He's gone Kirk Cousins as his QB, Quentin Johnson at wide receiver, Travis Etienne at running back, Luke Schoonmaker at tight end, and Adam Thielen, more than a Thielen, at flex. Tay is picking for Tay. He's gone
great name.
Tua Tagovailoa at QB, Brian Thomas Jr. at wide receiver, Nick Big Old Chubb at running back, Cade Otten tight end, and Cedric Tillman for his flex position.
Bit of a dart throw there on Cedric Tillman. Just interested to see how that goes.
I feel like that describes this podcast right now, mate.
Sure does.
It's a bit of a dart throw. Righto, well, that starts of the week. We'll figure out who is the best out of the three of us at picking not just a start team, but really screwing the others over with a flex. And whether this concept even works. And if it does, I'm sure Tay's going to be trying to shoehorn it in with Matty from here on out.
Absolutely. We'll be picking 6 soon.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't wait to see Kev's fucking Scrubs team.
Kev's Scraps team is going to be horrendous considering you took some of the better guys out in Taylor Talk and then we've picked 15 blokes. So it will be interesting. All right. Thank you very much for joining us for this hour of absolute hilarity and total nonsense. We can't thank you enough for listening week after week. Please, you know what? I haven't done this in a while. If you're listening to the podcast and you've got mates that play fantasy football that you do league mates with, recommend the podcast, recommend AGN to these guys, and see if you can get some more guys listening for us, because we just like to sit around and talk shit and have fun. And we love it when others get in on the banner on socials and stuff as well. So that's what it's all about. Recommend all the Aussie Gridiron networks to people for us. And just help us out. You can find all the links to the socials at linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network, as well as all the links for G'day Gridiron, Man Giants Pastry Press NFL, Aussie Gridiron Today, and you can find links to the merchandise store, where right now you can get 35% off coming up to Christmas, and you can buy your kids, your loved ones, your partner, your league mates, some amazing merchandise, shirts, jumpers, stickers, whatever you want. There's some really cool designs in amongst that. Get yourself a MILF Hunter t-shirt. Why not? Or if you just want to just display mediocre fantasy advice to everybody, go and grab that as well. 35% off. The links are in at linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. On behalf of me, Ian, Isaac, and of course, Taylor, thank you very, very much for listening. We really appreciate it. And you know what? I might see you next week, the way things are going. So, see you later.
Yep. Boys, like my phone battery, which is dying in the arse, I know your start of the week's teams will be also dying in the arse. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
It's none other than Taylor Stun Gun Goodall.
It's almost like it was written in the stars that Matty C was going to get mouth AIDS this week.
He should have seen it coming, to be honest.
Aussie?
Who makes up these fucking names?
It's a big fuck you to them. I love it.
Matty was high on it too.
NFL.
I went from a bucket of arseholes at running back to a bucket of arseholes at wide receiver. They just swapped.
So I just thought I'd bring that out there just to give him shit.
I know. Kirk Cousins at the lettuce sandwich.
Literally does everything.
He literally does everything.
Fantasy.
There's two guys that I'm been tossing up.
But it at least makes the waiver wire less like a homeless man's arsehole.
We're going to reach deep into the mailbag.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Problem is, it's an absolute pit of arseholes.
Get that up, you big boy. We try and bring entertainment here.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show is brought to you by the Aussie Gridiron Network. Check out our other productions, G'day Gridiron, Pastry Press NFL, and Aussie Gridiron Today. You can find everything at linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network.